Alright, people, you've seen the title. Dragon Ball characters that I would love to see get an S.H.Figuarts figure. Or see it in S.H.Figuarts format. Kicking it off, we got Tapion. Tapion is such a cool design. This is basically what I would imagine if you was following the character in a different universe for Dragon Ball as the protagonist. This is what I would imagine him to look like. He has big protagonist energy. Also, him playing that flute, I could see that. Him playing that flute is just so versatile in terms of picture taking, and that's what I usually imagine when I think of the character or want a character to have a figure. But with that being said, moving forward, originally this was going to be like a top 10 type of thing, but it just grew out of control. But moving forward, okay, so we have Super Android 13 up next, and I know he's kind of early on the list, but that's partially because of how I feel about how he was handled. I think he suffered from that thing that a lot of Dragon Ball villains suffered from, especially since back in the day what they would try to do is basically replicate whatever was going on in the anime. So if you notice in the Super Android 13 movie, he took androids 15 and 14 and he assimilated them into his body. So who is that supposed to represent? It's basically movie Cell. But he suffered, but Cell had a whole like story arc dedicated to him, episodes upon episodes, and I feel like that's what this guy I wish kinda had. Especially for as cool as he looks. Like, this is the type of character design that you see and it's like, yo, I don't know who he is, but I might buy it because it looked cool. Now for Super Android 13, even though I know he's going to be a huge hulking figure, I really do hope that he comes with that energy effect and not just an assortment of hands and a couple of faces. Also, real quick, two things. I'm gonna put the pictures up on the screen somewhere, but the first one is like, look how dirty he did Vegeta. Twisted his arm and then took him to Baneville. Had him looking like Batman, man. that like, yo, that, even though it was no blood, that was a really brutal attack. And then Goku, bruh, that was just grimy what he did to yeah. Yo, almost took Goten out the show with that move, but let's move forward. Now, this character right here, Super 17, he's not even a character I was super like, oh, I have to have him. Like, he was never my favorite character. That's what I'm trying to say. But one thing about him is, over the years, his design has definitely grown on me. And two, with the advent of Orange Piccolo, I was like, yo, that's my dream matchup to have in like figure format. I had taken pictures of Super 17 versus Orange Piccolo. That would be a cool little rematch. Now, I'm not doing any type of power scaling when I say that. Okay, I'm not saying that Super 17 is on par with Orange Piccolo or whatever you believe the scaling to be and whoever's favorite. I'm just saying it would be cool to take pictures of that scene. But moving forward. So now we have regular Android 13 after going over Super 17. And you might be wondering, why do I have him like further down the list than the actual Super Android 13? I actually like regular Android 13 more because I don't know, I like the simple design, but also I like just having this figure. Once I get him in hand, it would be so many more display options. Like, you could have this guy, he looks regular enough that you could have him like doing everyday things, like reading the newspaper. And I suppose you could do that with transformed characters too, but it'll just look a little bit, I guess, goofy, for lack of a better term. But yeah, definitely, I'm excited for the display options if he does become a figure. I think he will be a figure, not if he does. It's a matter of when at this point. But moving forward, up next we have a minor spoiler if you haven't been reading the Dragon Ball Super manga. We have Granola, from the Granola Survivor arc, and when I saw the character design, I was pretty much sold on the character. Like, just in terms of how cool he looked. Like, oh, I want a figure of him, type of deal. I would like both versions in these pictures. I would like him without his vest on, as you see right here, and him with that longer hair. Now the thing is, with those, I doubt they'll milk it that much when we finally do get there. Or maybe we will. We'll have to see how much of a hit he is with the fans when the anime drops at some point. But with that being said, yeah, Granola, definitely want a figure for this guy. Let's move forward. Okay, so now we have Majuub. Definitely a character that I was, super looking forward to. I still am super looking forward to him. But when we'll actually get this guy, who knows, man? We have at least 3 or 4 GT characters that they actually have to do before they do him. So I'm not really, I don't know. We gotta go through Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Super Baby Vegeta 2, whatever his name is. Omega Shenron will probably get a figure before this guy. There's so many characters. Like, it's possible that this character don't even get a figure, but I'm holding out hope that he will. Yeah, let's move forward. We were just talking about him, Omega Shenron. Yes, this figure is just, once again, it's another one of those character designs where I would just want it just to have it on the shelf, because he would just look so cool on the shelf. Now with Omega Shenron, once again, not a whole lot of stuff that he could come with. I guess he could come with the polluted Dragon Balls, and of course his negative Karma Ball effect. That would be amazing. And I think he is coming sooner rather than later. I think I mentioned that in a video with the speculation of Gogeta, Cyborg Frieza, and Super 13. But moving forward. Okay, so I was like triple dipping with this thing. This is why this is not a top 10 list, because of things like this. Because I'm like, yo, Super Baby Vegeta 2 would be awesome. And then, or I like to call him like a mutated Super Saiyan 3 Baby Vegeta. But that's besides the point. We're not here to discuss that. As you can see, I have the previous 2 forms before that. And I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna lie. Getting all of them would be nice. But I know most likely, since these forms weren't stayed in for very long, we'll probably just end up getting the final form, more likely than not, and maybe a Great Ape form. This character would just be awesome to have. Just to, like, I love my what if scenario. So Baby Vegeta 2 conspiring with Goku Black, and funny enough, I might have. I'm gonna save that for later. But yeah, like I said, I always think of the picture options when I think about these figures, and like, oh man, there's so many cool display options that you could have with Baby Vegeta 2. Alright, moving forward. Okay, so now we have Kid Buu and Buuhan. These two, like, all of the, yeah, bruh. Buu Saga is one saga where I will get the form of every form that they have for Buu. I will have, and it will be reviewed on this channel. You can guarantee it. Kid Buu and Buuhan, definitely must-haves for me. Must-haves for me. One thing I will say though is I'm not sure. Well, we'll see how they're actually handled. I think they'll handle Buuhan fairly easily. He won't be anything new, but Kid Buu will be a smaller figure, and I was discussing this with Burst ZG and Cyorus at one point. But their smaller figures still need some tweaking, so we'll see. And it's not like Kid Buu is super duper small, but I would give him like Frieza's height, Final Form Frieza's height. But with that being said, let's move forward. Also, another thing, from this point forward on the list, these are like the other ones I want. These are must-haves for me. And before we move on to the next character, I just want to give a brief disclaimer. The next character is, I guess you could say, a massive spoiler, but it was all over the internet. But on the off chance that you missed it, here is the time to skip to. And without further ado, here comes the next character. Okay, so yes, Black Frieza, yes, absolutely must, absolute must for me. And also, what makes me super excited about this is, I would say, when this character finally does come out, or this version form of the character, I'm hoping that he has a brand new mode. They better give a brand new mode for Black Frieza. He showed up with that new skin color and didn't know how to act. He said, I could finally say the bugging. Anyways, up next we have what is like something that I'm hoping that Tamashii does it, but there's no guarantee. There's a couple reasons why I'm super excited for this. One, battle clothes Goku and Gohan. This is not an outfit that they wear normally, and I'm looking forward to see it in figure format, obviously. But let's take it a step further. One thing I was hoping for is to do, like, get a Vegeta head and put it on Goku's body, because him and Vegeta will basically have the same body, but it will basically be Vegeta in Saiyan armor, and I think that would be awesome. Now, the only monkey wrench in this is that it's battle damaged. I'd prefer for it to not be battle damaged, but, you know, it's no big deal. Also, another thing is, it will basically give an update to the regular Trunks figure that's coming out. So if Goku got an update on his body, you could basically just do the head swap, assuming that it has the same pegs in the first place, but basically put the Trunks head on this new Goku body, hypothetically. But like I said, main annoyances being that it could be battle damage, and I doubt that they're doing it non-battle damage and battle damage. Yeah, maybe, you never know. They like money, so either way, let's move forward. I activate polymerization and fuse prison body with the Lorax to summon God Toppo. Now we have Toppo. Now Toppo is one of my favorite designs and Super. Well, God of Destruction Toppo is. And while we're at it, I figured I might as well add these in the same slot. And this is what I mean by double, once again, double and triple dipping. I got all the Gods of Destruction here, but there's a few in particular that I would like. Now, at one point, at the figure I wanted most of all would have been Beerus, like a redone version of Beerus, updated mold and everything. But I'm gonna have them at this slot. So I redone Beerus, Liquor, Jin, and Vermouth. Those are the figures I would love to see. Characters I would love to see in figure form. Now, will they be made? Time will tell. I can definitely see them being made in a later format, especially if they're included in a movie or a Dragon Ball Super arc as a prominence, which it most likely would be a prominence if it's including all the Gods of Destruction. But with that being said, definitely God Toppo. That he's so cool. Lorax with the prison body, basically. But let's move forward. And of course, I feel like this one you should have seen this one coming. Broly, yes, Broly from both Super Saiyan Broly from the first movie and the second movie. Now, I have a feeling that this will definitely be done. Now, the Super Saiyan Broly with that's still kind of suppressing with the bluish hair, where he has the thing around his head that's kind of still suppressing his powers. That's probably why the Super Saiyan looks like that. Either way, that will definitely be released sooner rather than later, because we're in the Cell arc, or the Android, as I said, the Android saga of figures, or the Android era of figures for Tamashii. So, and that Broly movie wasn't in that Android era, so definitely I think we'll be getting this figure. This Super Saiyan Broly from the Second Coming movie, we'll definitely get him, but of course that was a Buu era movie, so it would stand to reason we'll get that during the Buu era. Either way, this one even though it's a figure I want, I feel like it's pretty much confirmed that it's going to happen. It's just a matter of waiting, and of course, us as fans in general can be very impatient, especially with a character that we really like. But with that being said, let's move on to the final 3. So at number 3, we have Perfect Cell. Now, there's a couple things I want to say about this. One, of course, we already got the Perfect Cell in the past, but yeah, that's dated. It's trash. Time to move on from that. And they re-released it like 3 different times, bro. But with this Perfect Cell, I think the biggest thing for me is this is like a shot in the dark, but this picture on the left, the close-up picture, the portrait of Cell, that I love. That's my favorite drawing of Cell. This is like, of course, a Toriyama art of Cell, but I don't know. It's something about this particular picture of Cell that makes him feel like, I don't know, almost like slightly, how do I put it? There's something different about this picture of Cell. At least that's how I looked at this picture illustration and seen it. Like, this one is like awesome. If I could have a Cell face that looks exactly like this picture, oh man, that would be amazing. But yeah, Perfect Cell, definitely a character we're overdue for. And also, when this figure does come out, I actually have some plans for a custom. So I'm gonna do at least, I want to get at least 2. One, the second one for customizing. But with that being said, yeah, definitely a figure that we should have had, a character we should have had a good figure of, and it's only a matter of time at this point. But on to number 2. At number 2, Janemba. Now, Janemba, just off the strength of character design, looks awesome. Powers look awesome. Taking pictures with this guy would be amazing, especially with that portal power and the different edits and effects I could do. Oh man. But with that being said, one thing I'm a little worried about is how they would do the dematerialization effect that you see right here on the right picture. Like, I'm not too sure about that. Like, I hope that they're able to do it well. This probably will have to be its own separate piece. But that dematerializing effect, ooh, that would be amazing. And like I said, character design on point. I think the only thing Janemba suffered from is the same thing that a lot of the other movies suffered from. They only have, an hour and 30 minutes, 2 hours if they're generous, to tell the story. And I feel like a character like the concept of Janemba could definitely use a whole arc to, delve into. In terms of world building, just being able to defeat an entity like this. But with that being said, let's move on to number 1. But first, we have some runner-ups, and the first runner-up I have is Nova Shenron. Listen, Nova Shenron was basically the hit of Dragon Ball GT, because he was that cool, the cool, friendly, silent type warrior who was honorable and whatnot. And I would have said Jiren, I guess, in a way fits that. Nah, he don't really, not like how Hit and Nova Shenron are similar. But either way, nice figure. It pretty much guarantees Ice Shenron, because all that would be is a repaint. And yeah, he's like one of the few characters in GT, or new characters in GT, I actually really liked. And I was like, oh man, I wish we got more screen time with him. But moving forward, the second runner-up is Gohan in the Supreme Kai outfit. Now, I chose both of these artworks in particular for a reason. One, the one from the anime looks cool. I think he looks really good. I love that drawing of him. And then 2, I also love Toriyama's drawing of him. It looks really good. Like I said, his faces they look different when you can see he's drawn it for an illustration versus drawing it because it's in the manga. Like his of course the illustrations are obviously gonna have more time put into them, but I just really like that face. Now another thing is for the runner-ups, I didn't have this stuff I wanted to put on the list, but basically I couldn't say that I wanted these more than anything on the list, so it kind of didn't make the list. But either way, with that being said, on to number 1. Now for number 1, we have Buutenks and Evil Buu. Now these two figures, I cannot wait to get in hand. Especially Buutenks, because I have so many pictures in mind planned for him. And like these are basically my most wanted figures, these two. Because I know not a lot of people will care to get the regular Evil Gray Buu. But it's just, I don't know, having different... One thing that is I love about collecting is all the different body types that you can have on your shelf. Like, I don't think I'll ever have another not too many skinny figures, kind of like how this Gray Buu is. And then Buutenks, he just looks cool. And then also he got some cold lines. I think I'll play it towards the very end of this video where I just kick it with y'all, laugh at the little clips that I chose. But yeah, this sweet. And that pose, oh man, he's just so cool, man. He's just so cool. But with that being said, there will be a part 2 to this video, funny enough. But it's gonna be ever so slightly different. But with that being said, peace out and stay tuned for my little comments with Super Buu. Okay, so for this clip, Buutenks come out the gate talking shit. Yo, just listen.
I suppose the sudden loss of your friends and family has left you speechless, Gohan. Hurry and drain your tears so we can...
I'll let you cry. Okay, so for this clip, basically, I feel like a Gohan hater got a hold of the script. Or at least I would say it would express the sentiments that Gohan haters have.
Without your father holding your hand, you really are nothing.
Yo, that's a cold line.